Thanks so much to all my patrons. Join now to help support the channel and help pick the books that I review. Link in the description. All right, so it is the first of the month, and that means it's time for me to talk about my November TBR list. But before we go into the books, let's talk about the October TBR contest. So as you probably know, if you watch this channel, every month I run this contest where you predict the books I'm going to read the upcoming month and how I'm going to rate them. The top 3 spots win, and the winners are highlighted in my TBR video. If you win twice, you get to pick any book you want for me to read and review. So click the link down below to officially submit your picks, and then join my Discord to follow along with the updates with each book. I show like a top 10 list or like a top 50 list, and you can follow along and see how things are going. So the TBR gold medal winner was Adam Hill, who got 7 out of 9 correct. This is now Adam's second time winning, and they picked a book for me to read and review that I'll be doing, I think, this month or the next month. Silver went to Prim, who also got 6 out of 9. Who got 6 out of 9 correct. And bronze went to Royston, who got 5 out of 8 correct. A lot of people tied with Royston, but he had a higher tiebreaker score. And this is the second time that Royston has won, so he also gets to pick a book for me to read and review. So look forward to that. So I've started a new thing a few months back where I give a monthly prompt in the TBR, just something a little interesting, and I highlight the answer I like the most. The prompt this month was make up a premise for a movie that would be so bad that it would be good. And the winner for this is submitted by 𝐵𝐵𝐸𝐷𝐸, and their prompt is: all of a sudden, everyone in the world cannot speak except for one 7-year-old child named Donnie. He's found in the middle of rural Arkansas, but he only likes to talk via fart jokes. As the world's culture shifts towards a less verbal mode of communication and entertainment, he remains the most unique attraction in all of entertainment, being given his own TV show, where he continues to evolve his repertoire of jokes about flatulence. World leaders invite him to their palaces to hear the latest in gassy jokery before the rest of the planet, and these advances are considered breaking news. Directed by Ethan and Joel Cohen. That's good stuff. All right, so let's get into the books. The first book I am reading this month is Barayar. This is the second book in the 𝗂𝐿𝐼𝐴 saga by Lois McMaster Bujold. I'm doing this via audiobook, and I'm predicting a 4.5-star rating. I'm actually reading it in the middle right now, so I'm not going to talk too much about it because I don't want to give you too much of a spoiler about what my thoughts are. But the 4.5-star rating was what I predicted. I made a guess before I started reading this, but I should be finishing this up today or tomorrow. It's only 352 pages, so a little bit shorter, but audiobooks I go a little bit slower anyways. Now, this is the second book in 𝗂𝐿𝐼𝐴, but not the second book written. It's the second book chronologically. I read these a little bit out of order, so I read some stories about the main character, Miles, and then I went back to now doing it chronologically. And the first book, I think, was Shards of Honor, which I thought was very good, gave it a 4.5. This follows that Shards of Honor plotline of the parents, and then it'll go back to talking about Miles mostly. And so I really loved the first one, gave it 4.5. I gotta think this one's gonna be about the same, even though this one's even more, highly acclaimed than the first one. I think this one won a Hugo or a Nebula or both. So yeah, looking forward to it. I don't know anything else about it other than the premise is essentially it's about the parents, and it takes where they left off the first one, where they're both living together, and the mother, Cordelia, has moved in with her now husband, who is he's running the government because the emperor is too young to run, so he is the regent, and it follows probably some fun adventure, which is what all these books kind of follow along in. The next book is It is Daughter of the Empire. This is the first book in the Empire trilogy by Janny Wurts and Raymond D. Feist. This is set within the Rift World? Yeah, I think it's Rift World. I could be wrong here. Rift World Saga. This one, the Patreon vote. So every month on Patreon, I put a bunch of books, and then whatever one's the highest book, I have to review. I'm doing this in book format. I'm predicting 4 stars. Should finish this up around November 4th, and it is 421 pages. So this is now going to be the third book that I've read of Janny Wurts. The first book I read, I think I gave 3.5 stars. It was Into Hell's Chasm. Then I read The Curse of the Mistwraith, which I did not finish. I could tell it wasn't for me. I wasn't connecting with the plot or the writing at all. But I want to like Janny Wurts a lot because I like Janny Wurts as a person. And I've heard so many good things about this trilogy. Now I loved the Rift War stuff that I read before. I read the 5 or 6 books that were set within the first one. Was it 4 or 5? Maybe it's just 4. But I liked them all. They were all entertaining. But this one's going to tell about the other side of things. So the alien force that comes and invades the humans, it talks about them and some drama involving them. I don't know anything else about it. I'm very intrigued. So I would say a 4 is probably like a low, like a floor of a vote. But I'm hedging my bets here and going 4 stars. Then I am going to be doing Titus Grown. This is the first book in the 𝐒𝐮𝐵 series by Mervyn Peake. This was a TBR winner, so somebody that won twice got to pick this book for me. I'm doing this in book format, and I'm predicting 1 stars. I don't think I've ever predicted a book would get 1 stars before. Actually, I think I take that back. I think I predicted that I would give Crescent City 1 star, and I didn't even give it 1 star. I gave it 2 stars. And I think I might have also predicted that Fourth Wing that I'd give 1 star, and I think I gave that 2 stars as well. Should finish this up around November 9th, and this is 438 pages. So, like, I know I'm going to hate this book. And curse the person that picked this for me. But maybe I'm wrong. But it's got so many things. Like, everything I know about it just says I'm going to hate it. So it was written back in like the 40s or 50s. I don't generally like books that are written really old. Like, I can't connect with the writing style. And maybe that's, I'm not a good reader. And I should be smarter. I'll take that criticism. But I know what my tastes are. And I generally don't like that kind of older stuff. Then when I read about it, that it's really slow, painfully slow, and you got to really connect with the themes and, take some stuff out of it and make sense of the mess going on in there. And this sounds like it's going to be a mess. It sounds like I'm going to be hate reading this from the start. Now, it's only 438 pages, so I can blaze through it. Hopefully, this might be one of those things that I read it really fast so I can be done with it. A lot of people, when they read a book they hate, they go really slow, and it zaps their will to read. But I know I'm going to keep reading more books. My will for reading's not done, but now, hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully I'm like, man, this is great. I want to read this whole series. But my optimism, it could not be much lower. Now, on the inverse of that, the next book I'm going to be reading is The Mirror's Truth. This is the second book in the Manifest Destiny series by Michael R. Fletcher. This won the Patreon raffle. I'm doing this in book format, and I'm predicting 5 stars. Of course it's going to get 5 stars. I know already that it's going to get 5 stars. This is going to be finished on the 14th or thereabouts, and it's 500 pages. Now, why do I know this is 5 stars? Because I just read the first book in the Manifest Delusion series, and Beyond Redemption, and it's like one of the best books I've ever read in my life. Literally everything about it was wonderful. It was just perfect for me. It's like the perfect Matt book. I can't stop thinking about it. It was awesome. And the fact that out of like the 50 plus books that the raffle could land on, is it landed on this one, it's like, somebody up above is shining a light down on me and saying, here you go, Matt. Because I was going to, based on like my schedule, I'm reading tons of series that I think this one was scheduled to be read in like January or February. So to all of a sudden be jumped up several months and I get to read this thing that is like fresh on my mind and I can't wait to read. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I can't wait. And I've heard from literally everybody that the second book is better than the first. And I think the odds of me disliking this book are about as close to 0 as you could possibly get. So yeah, I'm hyped. I can't wait. Super excited. And if you've not checked out the Manifest Delusion series, go read it. Do yourself a favor. If you like darker stories, you are missing out if you have not read this. And you're welcome, because it is absolutely terrific. The next book I will be doing is Tears of 𝐿𝐼scor. This is the 7th or 8th book in the Wandering In series. I've lost count now. This is by Pirate Abba. I'm doing this in audiobook format, predicting 5 stars, because I give them all 5 stars, basically. Should finish this up around the 19th, and it is 1,651 pages. Yeah, the Wandering In is very long. Not just the books are long, but the series is like the longest series of all time. So I'm like the biggest Wandering In stan on the internet, I feel like, around booktube. There's bigger fans because that series has mega fans. But yeah, I can't wait. I love The Wandering In. It's a lit RPG progression fantasy. You've heard me talking about it a million times because I talk about it all the time. I love it, and I've recently got turned on to the audiobooks. I feel like the audiobooks are the definitive way to consume the series. Andrea Parsino, the audiobook narrator, is masterclass, just truly wonderful. Brings all the voices to life, all the characters, and I'm super excited. Now, I feel like there's something going on with this book, because every time, people more than usual are saying, Matt, when are you going to read this one? So I feel like something big happens in this book. I don't know what. I have no concept of what, so I don't feel like I'm spoiled on anything. But like, even on like my Goodreads, I wrote it and then somebody went like, oh, here we go. It's finally happening. And that's not normally the vibe I get when I start these books. Usually the vibe I get is like, yay, he's continuing. But this one's like, I feel like people are like, ooh, he's going to be finally reading this big thing that's going to happen. So I'm very curious on what that's going to be and figure out what the tears part of this book is. I feel like somebody dies or something major happens, and I am all here for it. Okay, next up, Salute the Dark. This is I think the fourth book. Yeah, the fourth book in Shadows of the Apt by 𝐿 Tchaikovsky. I'm doing this in book format. I'm predicting 4 stars. Should finish this up around November 19th. It is short. It's only 325 pages. And yeah, so Shadows of the Apt, this series, 𝐿 Tchaikovsky is a sci-fi author who wrote some fantasy. I think he wrote this series and maybe a couple other fantasy books, but now he's like primarily, I think, exclusively sci-fi, and that's what he's kind of known for. But like, why? This stuff is great, and maybe it's our fault. Maybe we didn't consume it fast enough when it was coming out to give him the kick that fantasy is where he should be. But they're great. I mean, I have either liked or loved all of the books set in the series. I didn't like the last one as much as I liked the second one, but I still liked it. I think I gave the third one a 4 stars. I think I went like 4 stars, 5 stars, 4, or maybe 4.5, 5, 4. I think I gave them. So I think 4 is a decent low bet. I like to bet low on these because then I like to have my expectations exceeded if I can. And yeah, this is great. It's a epic fantasy story about like bug people. There's different classes of people. You have like wasp people and ant people, and they're like half ant and half human. They have different traits about them, but it's like an epic fantasy where the wasps are like taking over, and they're like in full on war with a lot of the people that live in like the main part of the world here, and they've got these alliances, and it just feels like that huge epic fantasy. I love those kind of stories. And Tchaikovsky's a great writer, and he writes like these huge, powerful moments that I'm all in for. So yeah, excited. Then is Kings of Paradise. This is the first book in the Ash and Sand series by Richard Nell. Another TBR winner picked this book for me. Thank you so much, because I can't wait for this one. I'm doing this in book format. It is, I'm predicting 4.5 stars. Should finish this up right near the end of the month. It is around the 27th. And it's 606 pages. And this is going to be the buddy read for the month. I've wanted to read this book for a couple years now. It's been on my radar. It's been deep. It's been like high up in my TBR, but I haven't quite been able to pull the trigger and make room for it. But I hear it's like darker fantasy. I hear like the people that I know that I trust about books say it's great. People on my Discord that I trust to know what my tastes are say I'm going to love it. I like darker style books, and I think I'm going to really like this book. So come enjoy and read this one with me and watch what happens when I love a book, hopefully, and the excitement that I give as we go through it. That just happened when I read Beyond Redemption. I was raving about it every day with a bunch of friends. I'd love you to be one of those friends that comes and read it with me. So I think we're starting it on November 15th. Come into my Discord. If you can't figure out where, you'll see there's like a buddy read section, and then you'll see an area for Ash and Sand. And click on it. If you don't know, just ask anybody in any room and they'll direct you over there. But I have like reminders up. We have like daily reading. I'd love you to join in. I don't know anything else about this book, but I feel like I'm going to like it. So I believe that's it. Yeah, that's the last of the books. I'm only reading, I think, 7 books this month. Pretty short, but they're longer books, or some of them are. And yeah, so that's it. Come take the contest. Click down below. Love you to join. Win twice and pick a book for me to read. You know, maybe it's like your book. Maybe you're an author. Check it out. Or like promote a book you love. Or more ideally, pick a book you think I'm going to like. But beggars can't be choosers. So that's it for me. Thank you so much for watching this video. And as always, happy reading to you. Thanks again to all my patrons, with a special shout out to my Ascendant tier and Librarian tier patrons: Amy, Alex P, Anna G, CJ, Doust, Darren, Daniel O, JD, Jerry, Jonathan, Josh, Nathan T, Nev's Book Channel, 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝐿, Ron Reich, Russell, Ryan L, Sydney Baker, Slay, Tahir, Wyatt, Anna, Blair, Bevan, Joe UK, Kat Mick, Marcus, Michael Sugarman, and Sky. Thanks for sticking to the end of this video, and if you want to watch some more content from my channel, click over here and I've got some good videos for you. Thanks so much.